Hey team, today's video is all about how you can take one of these, the humble cell phone, and turn it into one of the most powerful communications and business continuity tools that you've got in your toolkit. Whether it's webinars, talking head content, or podcasts, we're going to make sure that your message is not only seen but also heard. All right, step number one is your light source. The key fundamental is making sure that your main light source and wherever you're shooting is on your face. Unless you want to be a part of Netflix's next true crime documentary and end up all silhouetted and what have you, you want to make sure that the strongest light source in wherever you're shooting is on your face. Good option is if you can shoot outside, that's good, but obviously that's weather dependent and dependent on whether the neighbors got stuck into another project and got the chainsaw running or whatever. Conversely, indoors can be really great, and really simple trick is to just orientate yourself towards a window where the sunshine is coming into the room. All right, on to step number two. Just as important as being seen is being heard. Unless you want to be the star of the very next Charlie Chaplin silent film, being heard and being able to be heard clearly is really important. If you're fortunate enough to be the owner of, say, an iPhone 10 or a Galaxy S9 or better, something in that realm, there's a good chance that the internal microphone on your phone is going to be reasonably good. But it always pays if you've got the AirPods or whatever that came with your device, chuck them in, plug them in, and use them as a separate recording source, and just test which is going to give you the better outcome in terms of audio. We want our audio to be up to par as well as our picture, and a simple set of earbuds is going to make a world of difference to ensure that you get the best possible result. One of the other things that you want to be thinking about is background noise, whether it's the kids playing in the room next door, or whether it's old Jim or whoever over the back fence with the chainsaw getting started on his lockdown project. Just be mindful of the fact that the microphones, whether it's in your AirPods or whether it's in your phone itself, are going to pick up quite a bit of the background noise. So do your best to try and mitigate the background noise situation, and just find the quietest place in the house that you can. So now that you've got yourself somewhere to shoot, you've got a good light source, you've got some good audio happening, you want to be able to put yourself into the frame. Framing is very important, and there's been a lot of research that's been done by psychologists that tells us that our framing is very important. Where we put our subject, where we put their eyes, tells a lot of the story. And unless you want people to pay no attention to your message and more attention to maybe the untrimmed nose hair that they might see, it's important that we get this part right. The simple rule of thumb is divide your frame, this thing here, into thirds. Right, one, two, and three. All right, and we want to be placing our eyes when we're in whatever shot at about the bottom of the top third. So here is good. Obviously, a tripod is the best way to do that, and it's the most stable for your phone. But bear in mind that I guess times like this called for some improvisation, getting creative about how you might get your phone at that all-important eye level. And then just remember, if your tripod is non-existent for that matter, and you're having to make do, you can obviously move your phone up and down, but there's also the opportunity to move yourself up and down as well to ensure that you're in the right spot. Right, final part of this process is just do it. Be like Nike and just do it. Find your lens, that's the little dot on the front of your camera, that is where the lens is, and make sure that you keep your eyes orientated towards that. It's really easy when we've got this big screen in front of us to want to look over here, but where your eyes are is ultimately how you're going to connect your message to those that are listening with it. Also remember, this is not Hollywood. If you make a mistake, just relax. Back it up to the previous sentence or statement that you've just made to give your editor a little bit of breathing room to cut around it, and just relax. Remember, it isn't Hollywood. It isn't, this is not going to win you the Oscars. It's going to get a vital message in unprecedented times out to those key people that need to hear it. And it's often going to be the beginnings of potentially some new business opportunities for you when you're brave enough to get past the fear and get out and get amongst it. The other really important thing to remember is This is awkward for everyone. Even the most experienced campaigners find it really hard to do this kind of thing. It's incredibly confronting, but as we know, necessity dictates that we've got to get past our fears. We've got to do things that are a little uncomfortable and push through it. The pros find it hard. If you find it a bit tricky up front, keep persisting with it. Trust me, it does get easier. And it's good for the soul to get past having to look at that person in the mirror with critical eyes and start seeing yourself in a bit more positive a light. Finally, in this time of uncertainty and ambiguity, just know that success is not going to come to those people that sit on the sideline critiquing and poking fun and prodding at those that are trying to make sense of this brave new world and to pivot in their businesses accordingly. Those people that are going to be successful, that are the ones that get outside their comfort zone, push themselves to try new things and ensure they keep their business moving towards what is going to be a really cool and exciting new future.